Good time appropriate greeting, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Today we are going to look at some help wanted bugs and maybe some other uh, issues, as been chat a little bit before we got started. So maybe some more in string interpolation stuff, but we're looking at a help wanted bug right now. So we're just going to jump right in because I actually did a little bit of research this time ahead of stream, which is a rare gift for all of us. So the initial issue here is we do have a string interpolation refactoring, which if you don't know about string interpolation, basically, I believe it's listed a little bit down here as well. The idea would be that string interpolation allows you to have these curly braces that then have valid C# syntax in between them. So as long as it's an expression that can be evaluated into a string, it's okay. And sometimes I think it has overloads for toString and stuff like that. So the issue here, I'm going to scroll back up for a bit, is that what is happening is the string interpolation is basically making 0 the string. So in string interpolation, you have 2 curly braces to escape the curly braces because those are how you do string identifiers, right? So how, when you want a valid actual C# syntax that's going to evaluate a variable or something like that, you're going to have single curly braces. When you want it to be an escaped curly braces, so your string actually outputs those curly braces, you do a double. So in this case, we can see that ideally what is happening here is that ducks, which is a string, gets put into the place of 0 and the single curly braces remains. But instead it's escaping the curly braces and leaving as is. So that's hopefully what we want to fix. This is a good example of a help wanted bug, I think, because there's a good conversation that happens here about what the actual behavior should be. So we have good community members providing feedback. There's some related bugs and stuff like that. And down here you can scroll down and say that oh, this is what the team that owns Roslyn and will let you check in basically, and we'll review one of your community PRs. This is what we expect to happen. So in this case, we want it to do something similar that string.format does. And so Jonathan here, who's one of my fellow employees, says that we want it to do this exact same thing. He points you to the point of code where it would be fixed, and kind of how to get started. There's a few things, so we should do show a single refactoring. So one thing we'll have to make sure of is we're only showing one refactoring, because apparently there are 2 string interpolation refactorings. I didn't even know that. And then we'll get started on that. So the other thing, as David has pointed out, just found this as an alternate code to fix. Let's open up this issue real quick. I don't know which one you're talking about. Provide an editor operation to create interpolated strings by default. Ooh, that's tough. I don't know if I want to get into that on stream, because that will I don't know, that'll get a bit tough. I do have a request from oh, scroll down. I'm scrolling down. Design meeting notes. Let's add to add a chord for it. Okay. Conversion of the current string to an interpolated string. Leave the existing refactoring as is. You know what? We might actually be able to do that. To be fair, I've never actually added a shortcut key. So you might have to walk me through that, to be honest. I've never done it. But I know how to change a string to an interpolated string, so... Oh. If you've never done it, that's not helpful. Maybe we'll figure it out together. We're going to fix the initial bug, but this is an interesting side note in which we want to have a command here, so it would be control curly brace, that would convert a string and just add the interpolation here without changing any of the middling semantics. So it would not modify the string itself, it would just add the missing $. Is my understanding of this issue. I was a little bit predispositioned by our conversation earlier, so I need to read through this a little bit more to make sure that's the actual intent, but I think that's the intent. Let's get back to the original issue. So I went ahead and copied this into a test, because I like to do test-driven development. I'm going to harp on that all day, especially when fixing bugs. Bugs are great for that, because you already know what's broken, so you just put it in there, and then when I fix the bug, this should be green. I do have a question about stream, though. So I have music that I've hunted down, and it shows my desktop audio is playing music. Can y'all hear the music? I think it would liven it up a bit when I'm quiet, because I do tend to go quiet, especially when I'm thinking. And chat is, you know, you expect it to be. Not always just streaming chat everywhere. Perfect. That's good, because I wasn't 100% sure. I've had issues with that today. Yeah, I found some good rock riffs. I actually have, one thing I want to do is write a song in C# that's like a long kind of droning song that would be good on stream. And I've started writing it, but it's going to take a while, so I have no promises on when that will actually be done. But I'm going to write my own song for stream, and I think that would be awesome. And maybe one day I'll like play it live on stream or something, as if anybody's interested in that. I know you come for coding, but I love music too, so down to talk about that. Back to this problem though. This is what we want to happen. So this is the summer problem. I just used a test that we already had for string format and put console.writeLine instead. So we have this string here, which again, this is inside of a string, so we have to escape quotes, but it's going to be single quotes in the output. And we want it to change to this, where we have this identifier 1. This 1 comes from here. And honestly, maybe we should even change that, because that could be a little confusing in the case of string.format, because, you know, curly braces 0, 1, those look a lot like stuff that should be replaced. I think I'm going to change it. I believe if you write a song in F#, the gaps between the notes are very significant. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but maybe. The gaps between the notes are the same depending on like major, minor key and all that. But F# is a weird key. It sounds to humans kind of weird. Oh, oh, it's a white space joke. I didn't even get that. I've done very little F#. I'm sorry. I should have seen that one coming. No, that was good. I just didn't get it. Anyways, let's do var I equals 25, and we want to replace this with I. I think that will make it a little easier to understand what's going on, just from a human perspective. So we're going to dive right into this. I went ahead and took John's advice from the bug, and I'm going to look at should include format methods. So I'm going to do and some people have been with me for a while and already know this, but I'm going to do a little bit of rundown. So what happens here is these tests and kind of how you can determine where to check. So these tests test this refactoring provider, and this refactoring provider is just the C# implementation of this abstract class, and that provides specific C# stuff that may be different from VB. And if you go back up to the abstract definition, this is where we're looking at. This compute refactoring is async because this exports, if we go back to the C#, this exports as a code refactoring provider. And so when we do look at this, we're going to be looking for the compute refactorings async, and that's the method that actually provides the refactorings they're going to do. So we can read through this a bit. We can tell that like the context, all this is pretty standard code. If you want to know more about that, let me know, but I'm just going to kind of gloss over that for now. The main thing we're looking at here is early returns. So we can see that like the specialty type here, we want to determine that we're in a string, for example, or have a string even. So if string doesn't exist, we want to return because we can't do anything here. Then we want to look at the format methods that we care about. In this case, you can see that the string type, get members of. So one thing we're going to have to look at here is that we're only looking for methods of string type. So string.format, etc. We want to expand this to look for stuff like console.writeLine. So this is going to be the first thing to notice, that we're looking at string.type here, or string type here. We're getting the members of it, and we're determining if it should be included in the format method. I'm going to go to that real quick so you can kind of see what that's like, but it looks at the method symbols for string, all the method symbols, goes through them, says, are they static? Do they have parameters? And then, do they match this known argument type? Because these are all methods that the BCL provides. So like format is the known type on string for when we want to format something. So we just check the parameter name here. And we'll just go back here. So we want to change this because we'll debug through this to verify, but my guess is right here is where we're hitting this return. I'm actually just going to put a breakpoint there. I'm pretty confident about that one. So we go in here and debug our test. I did remember to compile Roslyn first this time, so it shouldn't take nearly as long. Still gonna take a little bit. Added new stuff, gotta recompile. Let's open up the Test Explorer here. We're looking for this failed test. One day I'm gonna actually organize these better. Test Explorer has a lot of cool stuff I haven't really explored yet. Ironically, it's called the Test Explorer. Oh, no action was offered. We didn't actually hit the breakpoint. Hubris be thy name. Let's step through this then. I was very confident that Oh, you know what? Duh. This is just checking that they're actually format methods. It doesn't actually check what method you're invoking on. Then it finds the invocation and compares. Really should read the whole thing first before I just go and taunt the fact that I think I can nail it on the first try. So format methods, we're going to expect this to be a few methods because these are all going to be, if you look at it, it's string.format with object, 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 and then eventually a params. So it's kind of interesting now that you think about it, because I would have expected that like params object, it would just be a single object and params. That's probably either an optimization or because of legacy reasons. I'm not sure which. If you know, let me know. But anyways, there are 4 methods that qualify for this. And we're getting the invocation here. So try find invocation returns null. Let's go into that because it's a perf optimization to avoid an array calculation. That would be my assumption as well. I guess it's one of those things that's like common enough that it makes sense. I never know when stopping at those makes sense because they stopped at 3 objects or 2 objects. No, 3 objects. Yeah, they stopped at 3 objects and then we're like, that's good enough. Why didn't they stop at 10 objects, you know? Where do they decide? I don't know who decides these things. Somebody smart, probably. If selection is empty, so what's happening here is it's looking at the format methods that we care about, and it's going to deduce whether or not this invocation matches one of those format methods. So we can see this invocation is null, so this takes possible invocations, which is going to be console.writeLine here. So we need to modify this a bit. Imagine the runtime team looked at all the code on GitHub and found the peak of the bell curve. That's better than I would do, because I would have just been like, you know what? 8 is good enough. Let's stop at 8. But maybe you know what actually probably happens is at some point, array allocation versus what happens when you are inside and actually inserting those, I bet it becomes so close that it doesn't matter. So maybe for perf reasons, they just found instead of like common use cases, they actually just found the like point where adding more doesn't matter. That'd be an interesting trial that I'm not going to do right now. Okay, so is valid placeholder to interpolated string. It takes this invocation, format methods. So what is this? What does this do? This is the main thing. Oh man. I have qualms. I'm very opinionated about spacing, and I hate this so much. I would prefer it just be single indented. But I'm not going to change that, because I'm not feeling that feisty today. So let's look at this. So this is taking in all of the format methods, the invocation, because it has to look at all of the possible invocations in case it maps to multiple things. That makes sense. Oh, and then we want to step over this. So we do have two arguments. So does greater than equal to get expression of arguments is literal expression. That'll be true here, I bet. And then is string literal. Yeah, so this is all good. So we get the invocation symbol here, which is string object for right line. So the only thing we need to do is change this. Instead of taking in format methods, we want to just be applicable methods. So let's do that. We're going to change this to applicable methods. We're going to do I'm going to show this off even though I hate these things. If you've never done this before, even after you change something, you can rename it and it goes back and fixes the name for you. Pretty cool. So change the applicable methods here for me. I usually use inline rename, but you know what? I have to support this thing, so I'm gonna tell people to use it because it is cool in its own right. The other option is Control-RR or F2, I think. One of those two. And then you can change this to applicable methods here. And then the big thing is we want format methods. We want our applicable methods. Join, and then we want the format methods, and we want right line methods, probably, where these are the console.write lines. The interesting thing here is, do we add a requirement that console exists? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think we do, actually. So we're going to do our write line methods. Actually, let's not make this a var yet. We're going to do var console type. We're going to get the console type from the semantic model here. This is not a special type. Special types are strings instead. Compilation, I get type by metadata name, I think. It's going to be console because it's a static method on console, and then fully qualified name or full name. So we want write line methods. Console type is null, then we want a numerable empty I method symbols, else we want console type dot get members console dot write line, whoop, Let's get members. Is this just a name? Because we want right line and right as well. There's got to be, like, we want right as well. There's no way we wouldn't want that, right? Right? So let's do get members dot where should include console method, and then dot to mutable array. IntelliCode helping me out there with that gray text. So let's basically we want to should include format method. Actually, surprised it's not local. It's private. Okay. Maybe somebody added this before we had local methods. Who knows? Should include console method. So here we basically want the same thing. Like if the params are 0 and it's not static, we already know we don't want it. I don't know if the method symbol names are correct. So let's do if method symbol dot name. Oh my gosh, we gotta write code here. And so the interesting thing here is I figured out this after I added my test is we'll want another test to add because we want to add test console.write and console.write line. But we want to return false if it's not either of those names. And then if it is those names, return, okay. So we want parameter length greater than 1. And the reason being is we know we always have to have a string that's going to be formatted and then a comma and then the format options. So 1 is not going to be a problem because console.write line of whatever. Oh, and then we want to make sure that the first parameter is a string. Right? Is it possible? I don't actually know if we can get console.write that has no string. Let's see, console.write line. I don't know if you like to go through APIs like this, but I definitely use IntelliSense to go through APIs. Boolean, character, so let's get into the places where it has multiple, because that's the part we care about. So string. Ooh, okay, so yeah, we do need, because it does take a character buffer, so we need to check to make sure the first argument is a string. Yeah, okay, so we just need to do a first argument. There, and then we just want to return do we depend on the name here? You want to see all the signatures together? Oh, thanks for that link. I appreciate that. Does this show the... Oh my gosh, they're called format as well? That would be great. Because that literally means we can just do should include format method. But we don't want to do that. Because we need to make sure the first one is a string as well. Although, where are we at? If it takes in a character, it's not going to be called format, it's going to be called buffer. So we can just check the name. So we don't even need to write a new one for this. Let's just use should include format. And rename it to something that's not should include format. Probably shouldn't be surprised that the runtime is good at sticking to conventions, but still a nice surprise. Yeah, no. One thing I think the runtime team is very good at is understanding conventions. Okay. Get members. Stop. What are you complaining about here? So what? Oh, we should do up type. That's why. That's what we're missing. Joey got me. I beat you to it technically only because I didn't see that you said it before I did it. Oh wait, no. We still need this. Let's undo this for a second. So we still need this because we only care about these right lines right now. Console might have other things. I don't know. I don't want to commit to whatever console has. I guess I could just go look. What else does console have? Set in. There's a lot of stuff. Clear, open standard error, read. Because, I mean, the main thing here is if we use the existing one, we need to make sure that all of these either are things we want to support, which I guess if they call it format, we probably do. But actually, it might be fine. It probably is fine. I'm gonna regret saying that at some point. Okay. So we want go back and do everything that I just undid. So we're just getting console type members as well. But we don't actually care if the console type is null. In this case, we only care if the string type is. I don't want to block this whole thing here for this. And then right line methods make sense. Does not contain definition for join. What does it contain? Add range, that's what we want. Then applicable methods. This might just be the fix right now. Something else might break. There's other code that probably depends on this being string, but let's check it out. Why read all of the code when you have a debugger and tests? We went from rock to just like some chill beats. I really wish that I could just mark my stream as like non-profit or like won't make money and stream actual like music that I like. That would have been great. I don't know how people get around that. Maybe I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with legality stuff. What are you talking about? That's totally how copyright works. As long as it's... So, I have a story about this, actually, as a band who's done a cover song and had to pay for it. I know a little bit about the copyright laws. I just don't know where streaming fits into this. So, when we did a cover song, we actually covered Still Alive during the middle of the pandemic, right? It was kind of... so there was twofold thing. One, we were supposed to do a show with a band called Power Glove, which does exclusively video game music. and we thought we wanted to do studio. Okay, I'll link it in a second. And secondly, we had prepared this thing, and we wanted to play it live. And so you can do cover songs live. Like, as far as I know, we're never going to get in trouble for covering a song on stage, because it's our interpretation of a song, and there's like, I honestly don't know the full legality of that one, so don't quote me on that one. We've always covered songs on stage, even to the bands that wrote the song, so we've done it. We wanted to play that song on stage with Power Glove, and we had it all prepared, and then the pandemic happened, so we're like, you know what, let's record this, and we recorded it all by ourselves at home. I mixed and mastered it, and we shipped it out to make money out of it. And so the only difference between us publishing it on YouTube and anything else is if we wanted ads enabled on YouTube, they have a clause that is, we have to pay the royalties for it. And so the royalties exist for us doing a cover song because it's their song, we just made an adaptation of it. And so there's a few ways to pay royalties for that, but covering a song, releasing it, you can automatically get some things to do it, like Spotify will help you out a bit. We did it through our distributor. We used DistroKid for our distribution, and DistroKid had just a package that we pay for, and then they automatically take out a cut of whatever we make and send it to the artist, which is perfect for us because we don't know what we're doing. Let's look this up. You know what? I'm just gonna bring all of my own promotion in my own stream. It's my stream. So my band's called Per Ring, if you've never seen us. Here's our lyric video for our original. Here's our Still Alive video. We're gonna paste that in chat. Go check it out. The violinist in our band made the graphics for this video. I did the mix and mastering. I recorded guitar, and we did all of it from home. The drums and percussion are all programmed. So we did our best. Hope you enjoy it. Back to coding. So we want this to be non-zero. Perfect. And then we want our right lines to be non-zero, right? Oh, wait, no, that's way too many. Oh, no, I forgot right line and right. Yeah, so 5 each. This looks good. Okay. Oh, we definitely want to change this. Ooh, will edit and continue work for me here? No. Edit and continue did not work for me. I'm not gonna point any fingers. Let's just see if this actually works. Step out of this. We don't actually want to go through all of this. What did I get myself into? There we go. So, invocation symbol still no. Okay. What I wanted to know. So let's double check. Applicable methods, we didn't fix that. Easy fix. I forgot to change it here, and I forgot to change it here. Yep. You know what? I promise that I'm probably smart most of the time. Next line too. No! You're right. See if I can beat the compiler. The funny thing is I actually do really like pair programming, and this is kind of like pair programming, and it's great. Because I don't mind missing stuff like that. Like that's exactly what pair programming is for. It's kind of like you have a different view than me. I'm zoned in on something. I'm like, oh, I just need to fix this one thing. And you're already like, no, 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 no. As a human, we want other humans to be wrong, probably. And that's not the reason. I'm not even going to expand on that one. That's not the reason. It's just the internet. The internet wants me to be wrong. Y'all are not the general internet, though. As an alternative to the ternary, you could do the following. Equals... Oh, yeah, you're right. I could do a null coalescing. It is an alternative. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's a better alternative. I'm not gonna lie. I would just do an if statement. The only reason I don't like if statements in this case, and this is really just personal preference, and it's also why I like the switch expressions, is because this lets me know, like, reading the left side of this is like, I want this to be equal to something. And then I have two indented declarations of, okay, if this thing is null, this is what it's equal to. If it's not null, this is what it's equal to. And this is a little bit more complex, but at least, like, if it was an if statement, I would set it to this initially, and then read the if. And I don't know, it's just kind of how my brain works, but like I kind of lose context of how many assignments there are to this thing at that point. But it is really personal preference. That's like the nitpickiest thing. And you could definitely call that out on a code review, and I would push back and say, no, my brain works this way and I prefer it. And until we have someone important tell me otherwise. I mean, David's important, but he's not that important. That's why I would do it though. The if would get the entire presence of that variable and the add range call. Oh, maybe. Because yeah, then you're doing an add range call that is not technically necessary. Ooh, that's a good point, actually. So if I change this, so that actually would have prevented my bugs too, that I literally just wrote and had to fix. If I change this to applicable methods, put an if statement here for if this type exists, and then add to the applicable methods on this. So do collection format methods and call it a bunch of times. You're right. I like that. I actually do really like that. That is a cleaner way. This is why we code together. We as a group, a hive mind, can make very readable, understandable, and pretty code. Yeah, collect format methods and then pass in a type, and then if the type is null, it's just going to return. And then it would have an if statement because it would do an early return, and that makes sense to me. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to change it to that after I verify that this works. Oh, yeah. Okay. Something else is probably going to break here, but we got the first step here, which is to consider a refactoring. Okay, it still failed. What did it do? What did it do? Oh, I did the right thing. I just didn't update my test with what I changed this to. Bam. Nailed it. Let's go do that real quick. While we have this, we're feeling good about ourselves. So let's do our string methods equals collect methods string type. Our console methods collect methods console type. So this is what we're gonna do. Get rid of this all together. I cut that out. this up. And then this is going to be string methods, add range, constant methods. And then we're going to define static mutable array of method symbol. What did I call it? Flex methods. Might rename that. I don't know yet. And then this is what, an iname type symbol. Turn. Just change this to type symbol. And if type symbol is null, because I like the is null, return empty. $. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I have to fix the test still. You're right. It's not completely done yet. And actually what we're going to do here, we're just going to make this... Damn. So now we just need to know if there are any methods that we can apply it to. Thanks for that heads up, by the way. I definitely would have run it and then gotten frustrated at myself that I didn't see that. Oh no, Joey. Fuck. Sorry, I don't know. You're right, I need to pass in the method name. That's a good point. I don't know how we get a string type that is not interpolated string. Yeah, so controversial. Okay. Two things about this. And this is the controversy here. Do I add a return here or not? Without the space. I don't like this. I think it's superfluous because it's code that's doing like technically it makes sure that it's correct, but it doesn't feel correct. Actually, I argued a lot with Cyrus on this one. And so this is what we do. Local functions. It doesn't make it clear that the code is over, and that's my problem, though. A random return statement just... just doesn't do it. It doesn't tell you why it's doing it. Like at least in an if statement, it's like, oh, we want to end because we hit this if. Just a return statement here doesn't tell me why. It doesn't, like, I have to read this code below it to understand why that return is even there. I'm very passionate about this and I hate it so much. I'm not doing it. I'm putting this. Yeah, you can tell it's a local function already. Actually, funny story about this one is I got into this argument and I'm on the hook about writing. Actually, this is a good idea for my next stream, not this one. I'm on the hook for writing an analyzer where if you specify that all local functions should be at the end of a method, then we enforce that and can move them. And if I write that, then I can stop writing the stupid return statement. I have it on my plate to write that, I just haven't done it, and doing that analyzer during a stream is a great idea. I don't know why I haven't thought about that yet. I'm gonna do that during a stream. Not this stream, but a stream of some sort. We're gonna make everybody's life better with that analyzer, because then if you want to enforce it, you put it there. And if you don't want to enforce it, you don't do it. It's all in your editor config at that point. It's up to you. Okay. Our test did not pass, but did we run? No action was offered. That's not up to date. And the code should include a local method so it can analyze itself. I like that. I like that. Actually, we do have a few analyzers that, if you ran the analyzer on the analyzer code, would report diagnostics. It's a inception of code. Build succeeded. Is test gonna succeed? You know what I honestly should do on stream some point? Does it need braces? No. No, it doesn't. I don't know what happens if you have braces in here, honestly. I think it'll fail, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't even think we checked these in the expected code. One failed. One failed. Okay. Difference. Oh no. I got it. We don't want. I did a bad thing. That's what we want. Oh, whoops! I shouldn't get rid of the braces on that one. I just need console.writeLine doesn't return anything. It's not valid. Okay. So we're like close. We're close to fixing this. There might be more metadata we need to pass along for the fix itself. Now we'll get a little interesting. This is fun because the fix is replacing the method invocation. It is. And I was really hoping that the way they did that was they checked that it was a string format method invocation and didn't just assume whatever invocation you had needs to be replaced. And now I'm gonna have to go check that. Okay, so we're failing again. Yeah, this is just replacing the invocation. Sweet. That's, you know what, this is all problems that we can solve. So we provide a convert code action. This code action, I should not have done that. Let's go back. Create interpolated string async. So this just finds the literal expression, gets the text, syntax generator, expanded arguments, interpolated string. new interpolated string. With trivia from invocation. So let's fix this up a little bit. We have a few options here. One is we do a check to see if the invocation needs to be replaced. So try find invocation async could also do a invocation should be removed. Check. The other option is, I think, that when we go to create interpolated string async, we determine if it should be removed. And it should likely not be removed in any case that is not string.format, because that return. Actually, here's a better option. We should check to see if the method itself returns a string, and if it does, we want to remove that invocation, and if it doesn't, we don't want to remove the invocation. Because in my head, that makes sense. Because then, whenever we're passing in an interpolated string that modifies something, and we were passing parameters to it, it always returns a new string that is what you want out of the interpolated string. Nah, only string.format should be removed. Okay, I'm getting too fancy. You're probably right. You're probably right. Okay. Okay. You're right. You're right. If invocation that was a wait, what is this? T invocation expression syntax? What about string builder.append format? String builder doesn't return a string either. String format would be the only case. String builder.append format is a good example where we should add another to this. But let's fix this one first, and then maybe we'll expand it to do string builder, because that should be really easy once we fix this for console write line. So we want to do, okay, so this is an invocation syntax. Syntax. What do we want to do with this? Syntax fact service, get name of member access expression. Does that count? It is a member access. It's technically a member access expression, right? Because the method call is a member access expression. This might work. We'll see if it works. I'm not actually sure. I don't want to have to pipe through more stuff than we need to. If name not equals, I think you should pipe through more stuff. You think so? But this does it. This is like, when is this not true? When does this not work? List, if the member was first list, string form, otherwise it's not. Alright. You're right. I think that's kind of what I was getting to, and I'm glad you said it. So we want to do good replace format, and then we want to pass in our replace invocation methods equals string methods var heap invocation methods equals console methods. And then I hit Control A. Look, I've been on this keyboard for a while and I still mess up sometimes. I love my Moonlander because my wrists are feeling much better, but still type like I'm learning how to type sometimes. Replacement invocation methods equals 0 and heap invocation methods at length equals 0. And then we want heap invocation methods here. Go to this. We're going to change this to placement invocation methods equal array of I method symbol, heap invocation methods, and this will return a bool of heap invocation. Can you name just one? I guess you can. It'll just be item 1, item 2, and heap invocation. Invocation not equal null. Okay, so we need to know if... So this would be in the replacements. True. And this would be replacement invocation. Var keep invocation equals this, but we want to run it through with the different invocation lists. So we want to run it through with the replacement keep invocation list. And then we're going to look at why there's more code after this, to be honest. I'm not sure. Oh. We selected the whole method. It's going to be keep invocation. It's going to be replacement invocation. So we want to check to see if they got the whole thing. Actually, I'm hating what I'm doing here. Hang on. Get a better idea. I have a better idea. Let's undo this. Not doing this method. This method is try find invocations async. It's just trying to find invocations of something. I don't want to overload that. Instead, we know the information from the call site. Let's just do that. And this is going to be we want to do keep invocation methods first, and we want to pass in true, and then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to pass in false. I don't know if this is actually better, but this makes more sense in my mind. This is going to be replacement invocation methods. Replacement invocation methods. Let's change this to keep. We'll just keep it invocation symbol. I think that's fine. And then we're going to pass in friends here. Ooh, should replace invocation. Bam. That's what we need. Does this pass in a... We should put this before the cancellation token. I'm sure somebody will want me to actually put this here. That's how we code. Good. That's what I was expecting. This should not work. that would be a good enhancement. I don't know what you're talking about would be a good enhancement. I was talking about a lot of stuff. Oh, yes! That would be amazing. If you could like double click it and it would add it for you. What is this symbol actually at least? There it is. I'll just leave these as invocation symbol. That's fine. This still feels wrong. I need to refactor this more. I'm trying to be lazy and I really shouldn't. What's the best way to do this? I don't know. I was going to change this to out, but it's async and it can't be out parameters. I don't like it, but I guess I'll keep it for now. I just want it to work. And then after it works, I'll make it look pretty. Oh, I did the thing again. So we want to do create interpolated string. So here we go. Var. So if we replace else, let's figure this out. So syntax node replacement node is going to be nullable because it's going to be equal to null to start with. And then if it should be replaced, the replacement node is just the new interpolated string. Otherwise, it's the invocation so syntax generator, we want to do a replacement node equals syntax generator dot, then we want to do invocation expression, and then syntax generator dot alright, hang on, syntax facts good. Invocation. Does this work? This might actually work. Because this invocation syntax does not include the parameters, which is why we have to call the get expression of argument and then all of that, and get arguments of invocation. So then we want to add the arguments here, and the argument is going to be, let's see, hang on. It's going to be an IEnumerable of syntax arguments, which is great because we want this to be the new interpolated string. And then this doesn't actually need to be on a new line. I expect it to be. And then this will be new replacement node that would trivia from. Unnecessary assignment. That's fine. We won't assign it then. That makes sense. Something's bugging me about like how I got to that boolean, but adding the boolean makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to think of a cleaner way to write that code. It just doesn't look good right now. But I do expect the test to pass. That would be nice. Joey, can you file an issue to double click on the inline adornments to add the text? That would be great. Even if it's just an option I have to go turn on, I think I would love that. Dude, thank you. Appreciate you. I need to figure out something more entertaining to do on stream while I'm just waiting for builds and stuff. Ideas are welcome. If there's any questions you have, now's a good time. We're reaching the 1 hour mark. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I had kind of a tough week last week, and I missed streaming. But, you know, I'm glad to be streaming now and hanging out with y'all. It's really actually, like, revitalizing how I think about coding, too. Because I like having all of you watch me make mistakes and give me feedback. I think it does make me a better coder, and hopefully makes you a better coder as well. One failed! I'm mad about that. What did it do? It still replaced it. It still replaced it. We did something wrong. What did we do? That's on what we did wrong? Did anybody remember what I did wrong? Sometimes I just have days like this where I honestly like know what I'm supposed to be doing and just mess it up a ton of times while I do it, but that's why we have tests. It's a lot of fun. So we know it's not a throwaway invocation, so this is wrong. Because I literally got this backwards. That's what I did wrong. Boolean logic is hard. Can do it. Symbol. Let's do this. This is why I didn't like this, because it's too easy to get wrong. And honestly, it's too easy to misread as well. Like, there's a... Maybe I should just break that if statement up. Maybe that would help. And then have this be the same variables across. Alright, I'll click that while I'm waiting for this. Oh. Perfect. I like it. Build succeeded. Come on, test. You can do it. 6482 is duplicate code refactor, so you just pass the two collections and true, false. 64 to 84. Yes. So that's what I was getting at. I think this needs to be this right here. This whole section here needs to just be broken out into either another method or what, and passing this boolean, because it's hard to track right now. That's actually a good, you provide a very good point. Another method would be the way to go. Let's just continue, because I didn't mean to debug this. This should be true. Oh, false, sorry, this should be false, yeah. Blazer Mr. Magoo. I don't know who you are, but I like you. Your name is pretty awesome. Haha. We were so close. We were so look, we were so close, chat. Look at this. So close. Not quite. That means this is wrong. So invocation expression with this invocation is wrong. So can we get, I think there's a syntax fact service dot, let's look at, get argument list, get expression of invocation expression. Here we go. We want get parts of invocation expression because we want to get the, well, no, we can just get the expression here. Whoops. We want invocation, and we want this to be the this here. So close. That was just my bad, because I could never remember if the invocation includes the arguments or not. It does. So we just want to get the expression, which would be this part. Then we'll go back and refactor and make it look pretty. Passed. We're good. Yeah, let's go back and refactor this then. So we want to look at what calls this. And what we're going to do is register string format. Application actions, and then register other actions. You already have line 218 on line 201, do I? Semantic model. I increased this, so the literal expression. Yeah, 203 now. That's just the arguments. We want, so we have two options for this. What we could do is syntax fact service dot get parts of invocation and do the invocation here and then do outbar arguments. Yeah, no, it's okay. I do that a lot of times. It's completely cool. But yeah, that's the arguments and we want the expression. So the expression is this part of it, and then the arguments is this part of it. It's always good to question me on, though. Like, I do get those things wrong a lot. We do that thing. So I think we can just break this down. We want to do register, we want text span, document, semantic model. Actually, we just want to do register actions here. And we want to do keep invocation method, syntax fact service, context, and ooh, you know what? Let's try it. Except it's not right click, is it? This always throws me off. Extract method, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Add refactoring async. What does this do? And the only thing we need to do here is should replace invocation. We need a boolean for this. Oh my gosh. Let's do wrap these. True. And then we want to do this again, but false. That was a good idea. You had your one-on-one at this hour? Yeah, that makes sense. We're just making code better. So we want this to be false. And then we just want this to be replace invocation methods. We have test passing now. We had some good refactoring done. Blazer Mr. Magoo, who still has one of my favorite names, gave a good idea that we should refactor this a bit and make some method. So we made this, and then Joey was like, yeah, we have a whole tool for that you could just click and be done. You think those invocation args are reversed? You're right. You're right. This is why we have tests. And readable invocation should replace invocation false and true. And I'm also, I don't know if it matters, but I'm going to switch them as well. But we just want to add the refactorings. Perfect. It is not. So what we can do is make this a task of bool. Try add refactorings async. True, and then return false here. So if we add refactorings, we return true, otherwise we return false. And then we can do, change this, var add refactorings, not added frames. I don't know why I scrolled over so much. I guess I tried to indent everything. And can we wrap all of this? Wrap every argument and then that'll help me out. Sweet. And we want to add this for right as well, just to make sure. Pretend I didn't just get rid of that parenthesing. This should be right. This should be right. And let's make sure we didn't regress any other tests. So we'll run all of them. So I don't get to pair program with a lot of people, and it's great to see how different minds work. Like I legitimately enjoy this, so keep the feedback coming if you see it. Programming streams, man. Who decided the build should take this long? I gotta get a faster computer. Gotta outsource my builds to like 7 computers at once. David, if you ever want to pair program, call me up on Teams. We'll pair program. I'll hang out with you and we'll do it. I'll learn a lot, and I'll be the one to be like, hey, shouldn't that be true instead of false? Dude, if you stream again, I'd watch, as long as it's within like reasonable hours. How's the? Do you have any other things that you need to do on trains.net? 32 test pass. Nailed it. Look at this. We're done. We're done. This is it. We fixed the bug. We have 2 passing tests. Do we need... I guess we should write tests for the other methods too, just... That's a good idea. Oh, this is right. Yeah, I know. It's really hard for you to get like a reasonable time. That's what I'm saying. Like if you worked your schedule around my schedule when you stream, then I could probably attend. That's also not a reasonable thing to ask. You need to rewrite trains from the ground up? Oh man. That's tough. Why do you need to rewrite it from the ground up? How many arguments did we say that console right had? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and params. Okay. We need up to 4, because 4 will be the params one. Should it come separately? Maybe. I don't know. It'd be like, with this change, it would be very easy to add, and it's just a bunch of test code at that point, so I really don't know. I'm really open to opinions on that. I don't have a strong opinion. Why does anyone need to rewrite anything? I mean, it either is because it doesn't work the way you want it to, or... Oh, I think I forgot. Because you want to. Because you want to rewrite it is a fair enough answer. I'll have to go fix that previous test. Car life. I don't like bits of it, and fixing them seems hard, so easier to start again. That's fair. That's a very legitimate reason to write something. I need to fix this one because this has to have a 2. Okay. Just writing tests. So we're going to copy and paste these up here, and we're going to change it to right line. Okay, and then this should be this. Sweet. I'll just run it again to make sure they all pass, but they should. While that's running, can I go get a drink? Alright. 38 passed. We're doing good. Check this in. Oh. Forgot to change branches. Is this gonna mess with me? Might not. I was doing other work before I did stream and I forgot to change branches. That branch luckily was pretty recently based off of main. Sweet. What is this issue? 55053. Interpolated string. Possible. Why can't I? How long am I streaming for today? Probably another hour and a half at least. I don't have a strong end. I usually do about 3 hours of streaming, but if things are going well, I've got stuff I'm actually doing. Especially, I want to look at the other issue today about interpolated strings that you brought up. See if we can add that. I don't know why I couldn't check out the branch before. We can do it now. I think Visual Studio was just doing a lot. It was doing a lot. That's a good question. Go fetch my format string 1 with this code. I don't actually know. My guess is it doesn't do anything, but we should add a negative test for that. Make sure it doesn't, because I'm pretty sure that's the expectation with the other cases as well. Because there's no way to handle that correctly. So I'm pretty sure it checks that, but we should add a test for it. That's a good call out. We'll add it up here. Replace this with test missing, async, and we want console.write line, and we want to every time. That's what it wants to do. String, and we're just going to return empty string here. And if this string, drop this, and we'll get rid of this. Just want to get string here. Want to make sure it's missing. And we'll do that's missing. Console.write. Right. More tests. Especially because these tests are super fast. Always down to add more tests. Future me thinks past me for test. Or just a var with a string in it. Sorry, do you just mean like passing a variable as the first argument instead of a method call? should be the same. So if this fails, then it's not doing the right thing. And actually, what we didn't add test for as well was because this selects the whole console.write line, we should add selection here as well. See if that offers it. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by var with a string in it. Do you just mean like something like this and then doing like that? Delete that. I don't know what I'm messing with. We did 40 tests. Maybe we can get up to 42. 42 would be cool. Ooh. 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 Alright, hang on. Does the original one have tests for stuff like that? I don't know if it does. Are we fixing like a very different bug? Hang on, it would just be test missing. That has an out integer? String.format has an out? What? Oh, here we go. This one is... Oh, this is testing that's not a formatable string. That's what that's the test I added. We don't, duh. Sorry, we don't need the quotes here. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, good call. Good call. Don't need those. Very, very much don't need those. Yeah, I think it only applies to string literals. I think is correct. And actually, we can go verify that while this is doing this. So, if I remember correctly, try add refactoring, try find invocation, and is argumentless correct. So try find invocation does see, where does this check this? Is valid placeholder, I think, checks this. Yeah, is string literal here. So it should only apply to string literals. Perfect. That's passing. Ship it. Actually, don't ship it yet. We're gonna add one more test and then we'll move on, I promise. So we're gonna add one more test for base right line and right. But instead of this selection, we're gonna have this selection. That should work. Make sure it works before I make the right as well. At least I'm pretty sure that should work. As a user, I would expect that to work. If it doesn't work, it's actually probably another bug, to be completely honest. But we're in the habit of fixing bugs on this stream. I had a really bad joke in my head about like stream raiding and also raid the bug killer. One document must have a single span, an annotation. Okay. So they actually require the full span annotation, so we're just gonna... Oh man. Actually, I had trouble with this the other day because I have a new keyboard. It took me a long time to find this stupid bracket, like the pipes there. I don't have a good answer for you why I would ever listen to people who love keyboards about switching my keyboard. Actually, I love it. It's actually a really great keyboard. It still is just sometimes muscle memory gets you. What I want to do one stream actually is because we've done new analyzers in Roslyn analyzers. I wonder if we could ever swing like a full new feature inside of a stream, or even like multiple streams. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on like features that they think should go in, because as someone who I love interacting with the community and I like love my job, but I do sometimes wish that like I could do more features that people are passionate about. So if you have passionate features, you know, maybe that would be a good stream, because I did do a new analyzer on stream once, and I'll probably do another one. But a whole new like Roslyn based feature, or just any editor feature you want, and I'll tell you if we can do it. I'll just be as honest as I can. I don't like to hide things. Okay. This is passing. We're good. We're gonna change this to right and ship it. Push that up. Start a pull request on stream. Always exciting. I love opening pull requests on stream. It makes me feel like I really accomplished something. What did I call this? What's the branch? Where's the branch name? 55053. That's why I name my branches that. Is literally so I can remember this when I'm making this. Double check our changes. I'm gonna trust the test changes for now. Those are not usually what the thing is. I changed this to is null instead of equals null. Somebody might get mad about that. I don't know. I don't know where we're at on that one. No, this is all looking good to me. This all makes sense. Perfect. Stream. We did it. We fixed a bug on stream. End to end. In less than 2 hours. I'm proud of that. Okay. Follow-up was talked about. I need to like scroll. Actually, I think I still have this up in my browser. Let's see if we can do this. This is good. I'm gonna admit, this is a bold one, because I'm not sure how to do this. Like this is all new, so you know we're breaking in together. But we want to add a shortcut forward, which causes conversion of current string to an interpolated string. The first question is, does anybody know how to add shortcuts to Visual Studio? I'm gonna start looking, but I don't really know. And it's got to be public information, right? Because other things do this. Visual Studio. Extension. There is a way to do it. You know, I'm very confident of that one. Yeah, know enough to know it's a pain. You have to add a command to the... Yeah, I was expecting it to be a VSCT file. Let's go back to main. Within VS itself, environment keyboard. You're right. We want to add a default one though, so that way people don't have to go through environment keyboard. Export adornment. This is not use shortcut key within an editor extension. Define a command filter prior to VS 2017, but we're not prior to that. Is this what we do? We do add a command filter with a key binding command filter. This can't be right. Because how would you configure this? We want this to be a configurable thing. Hang on. Implement get command state. The command handler follows the typechar command. So we do need a command. I know that. This looks... I know enough to know that I need to add a command to the VS. You might not need to add one, but I think you need to add the default key binding. The interesting thing is I'm not sure there's even precedence within Roslyn to add a default shortcut, right? Because it's all... Wait, Alt F1 for inline hints. Ooh, that's a good... Actually, how do we do Alt F1 for inline hints? Let's figure that out. It's got to be findable by F1, right? Oh no. It's not findable by F1. There's too many F1s. I regret my decisions immediately. You're probably correct. Yes, editors. Yeah, we still need to add a VS Constants, VSS 2014. What? No, we're not in the habit of doing anything in 2014 these days. That's not it. Whatever this is, that's not it. Let's do this. We're gonna teach you a little secret of how I do a lot of things in my life. Is we piggyback off of people who've done it before. So we're gonna look for pull requests. I'm fortunate enough to know who authored this pull request for implementing inline hints. So it's gonna be Cyrus Najmabadi. Never had to say his name out loud, like his last name, and I'm sure I butchered it, and I'm sorry, Cyrus. I should learn how to say that. Inline. Just look for inline. Because I know Cyrus is the one who implemented the keyboard shortcuts. So I'm happy to know that that's the case. Okay, I'll just do inline hints as the show inline hints here. Switch the inline hints shortcut from Control Alt to Alt F1. Perfect. What did he do? Yeah, you would abort issue and find another. Look, we're in this together. We are gonna fail together if that's the case. But no, I'm gonna find what Cyrus did and do that. Okay. Inline hints key processor provider. So he just literally provides a key processor provider that does key processes until you finish your coffee. It is your day off. I actually, you know what? I'm surprised you're hanging out with me on your day off. I appreciate that. I hope it's been a good day, and honestly, I hope you're gonna have a good day off. Fix the decoding for inline hints. Maybe. Which do you have a... Because this is literally just like a logic issue around the keyboard shortcut. So this is use key. So this just fixes a bug. Oh yeah, but even if it's not work, it's work related. Like, let me appreciate you being here. Well, maybe. But I think we can do this. I think we can at least implement it as an IP processor provider, because that looks to be a thing. And then we will do a lot of the same stuff because we want to know about on-loss focus, on-game focus, etc. Maybe. But the difference is when... so this is on-loss focus, toggle off. We actually don't even need to care about loss focus, right? We just need to know about if a key is pressed. So we should have a simplified version of this, and then I'll submit a pull request and someone will tell me how dumb it was that it did this way, and they'll tell me what the right thing to do is. Right? That's how everybody does their job, right? Is they wait for someone who's smarter than them to tell them whether or not they did the right thing. This should work though, because we're just doing a key processor provider. We're not going to let this be configurable at all. I really worry about it not being configurable, but so all this does is literally refresh the options here, but this is where we're gonna invoke a code change. So maybe this is not the best example. Maybe smart break line is a better example. And I don't know who did that. Nor apparently is it searchable on GitHub. Can we all complain about search on GitHub for a second? This is why we have Search Roslyn. Yeah, Shin definitely worked on it. I just don't know how recently Shin worked on it, so I'm hesitant to search for pull requests because he's done a lot. Shin's been nailing it. Okay, so C# blah blah blah. So these are the integration tests. So these literally just do... Oh. want to know where the provider is, though. Break line. Smart line break? Smart break. What do we call it? Team. What do we call this thing? Okay, new plan, new plan. Let's go back. So we're looking at a keyboard press provider. Let's see what other... Really? Somebody needs to make our code easier to search. Is this the only one? Where does this come from? This is just Visual Studio saying that we can do stuff. Fine. Fine. Let's go look for what Shin did. Ooh, what is... Do you know Shin's, tag in GitHub by chance? I don't actually know. Shin is not on here. Older. Because I think Shin also has it. He's like me. He's not his name. I'm not gonna lie. This is getting annoying very fast. You know what I'm gonna do? Oh, there you go. Thank you. That saved me some awkwardness, because I was gonna be like, look, I'm gonna pause the stream for a second and go check my email where I can find this information. It's called Automatic Line Ender. Oh, Joey, you lifesaver. Okay. Wait, okay, so we do automatic line ender command handler. We have to register this somewhere, right? So this gets I think yeah. It's tough. People spell my name wrong all the time. I get it, because I want to have a unique identity. This is just a command handler though, so predefined command handler names, automatic line ender. What is this? Name, content type. Let's look at C#. It's a little easier for me to do that. Order before completion command handler. C# content type. What? Hang on. This abstract command handler is an iChain command handler of these command args. Okay. Okay. What? What? Ah! This is also a command provided by Visual Studio. Yeah. You figured it out probably slightly before me because of how stream works, but on stream I figured it out first, and that's the important part. So that's a proper thing from Visual Studio. We're gonna ignore that one and just go back to what Cyrus did. Go back to what Cyrus did. Perfect. We're gonna start with this. We're just gonna see if we can get it working. This is an adventure. You're on an adventure with me. I can't promise this will actually work by the end of the stream. But we're gonna do it. First question. Where does this go? Core WPF. Done. I hate our layering. I don't understand our layering. And I probably could have even explained it to you, and I still don't understand it. Alright. Editor features. WPF. Because it's WPF specific, right? We all understand that. Very easy to find. I don't know what editor features we have that aren't. Yeah, we have Cocoa, obviously, but like, what are text? Who's text? Who defined that text? Off my pedestal for a second. We're gonna do this. What do we want to call this? What do we call this? This is convert. No, it's not convert. It's not really a convert, right? Because it's just gonna be like a make interpolated string. We're not doing any more work than just literally if it's not already an interpolated string, we're gonna make it an interpolated string, and we're not gonna do anything else. That's the idea. And then we're gonna add a command handler. So this is inline key processor provider. We'll do key processor provider then. Oh man, I'm all about rants today, but every time I add a new item to our CS projects and I see it default to JavaScript, so mad. So mad. And I know there's an easier way to do this. But we're not gonna do that. What do we call this? Yeah, okay. Oh, having so much. Who owns this? Having so much trouble just typing these days. Ooh, here's a fun question for you. Which should it be? System component model composition or system composition? I'm not gonna lie, I never know. I literally don't remember these things. It's so... Can't blame our team for that though. There's other teams we can at least blame. Component model. What? No, I chose component model. Is that not the right one? Wait, no. This one has system component model composition, not system composition. Of course you don't know. Of course you don't know. The other thing is this add missing musings feature, which I added, and I love sometimes. Sometimes you should just click the cancel. Sometimes you should just click the cancel. David, I'm sorry. I am very sorry. I'm making it better, I promise. Maybe you should just do all of my features on stream and go through the process of why that sucks and why we're gonna make it better. I mean, look, I'm literally just gonna like cancel this and then try to add other things, and it's gonna do the same thing. That's my complaint right now. Like, I don't have a stupidly slow computer, but apparently it's stupidly slow today. Yeah, I mean, this is like an insider into Roslyn, so if anybody ever wants me to do like features that I'm literally working on, that's feedback I could literally use, because I thought doing features that like are part of my day job is not what people want to see, but it could be. And there's no real reason I couldn't do that. There we go. Here we go. Oh, I don't need the inline hints key processor provider, because this is that. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, we do need to define an importing constructor, you're right. We're literally copying code at this point. What does this thing do? What does this thing look like? So, I mean, like, if we don't need the global options, we don't need anything, right? Like, we're good. We're not even gonna let this be we might let this be an option, but we'll figure that out later. And then it provides a subclass, which is a key processor. That's what I need to know. And then this is internal, of course, because it's exported. We don't need it to be public. Why is this complaining? Tell me. Tell me. Explicit. You can do this for me. You literally can write this for me. Hey. Hey, Visual Studio. Dummy. Fine, I'll write my own. There we go. Now I want to... What? No. Oh. I'm the dummy. Don't tell Visual Studio that. I misspelled typo. And then we need to... What? No, we want to copy. There we go. We want to implement this interface. And then we want to return a new make interpolated string processor. And we're going to generate this class. We're not going to make it subclass. Going to be a key processor. Okay. Then view close. We don't need about close or open. We just need about the view, which we have. What is this? Override key up. Key up. Okay. I don't know if we need to. Guess we just do key up as well. Like, I never know, honestly, which, like, I understand the difference between key up, key down, and preview key down, etc. I just don't know what the right answer is, ever. So we're gonna do key up. typo in name of class. You're probably right. I do a lot of typos. Make interpolated string. Make You're right. I won't name any names. But whoever convinced me that switching keyboards is a good idea is right, but it's still a struggle. It's still a struggle. It's a struggle bus right here. Curly brace is close bracket plus and carbs modifier. How do you get a modifier? Because this is just Boolean. Thought there was a modifier here. There it is. RSet keyboard devices dot modifier. Actually, hang on. We probably want to do. This is interesting because the close curly brace is on a shift key. Guess we'll just do it. Now, spell check for identifiers would be good. You know, we've had a lot of arguments about what that should be, and I agree. I don't think anybody disagrees. I think the only difference is what people agree on what it should be. Keyboard device, modifiers, control. Control. So you gotta hit control and shift for this. I don't know how many. Is it the right amount of closed brackets? Who knows? So plus, we'll close that, we'll close that. Let's wrap expression. Do it. That's right. There we go. You think editor working on it? That's good. I definitely need one. I'm gonna blame my keyboard 100% of the time, but it's not my keyboard's fault. I just don't know how to spell. I get used to typing in things that auto-corrected for me, and then here we are. Okay, so on the key up, this is where we want to invoke go fix if able. I don't know what this looks like. So we have our text view. So this is gonna be a. We want to generate this. So we want to get our text views selection. We'll do caret for now. We'll just do caret. Oh, actually, I've done this recently. Speaking of the feature that is very dividing. Oh wait. This is what we want. Go to implementation. Oh no, sorry. Now we're gonna go to definition, not implementation. What? There we go. This is what we want. We don't want to create a tracking span. Never mind. This is not what we want. I lied. It's just not what we want. I was hoping. I don't remember any of this stuff off the top of my head, so we're just gonna struggle bust through it. So, caret WF text view dot text buffer current snapshot. We want to know what's in the current, and then we want to get text, but we only want it for the span that the caret is in. What is this? Caret position. Buffer position. This is looking good. Wait, no. We're just circling ourselves now. Okay. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're not. This is an int. Okay. New plan. New plan. We don't care about this. We don't care about this. What we want is the document associated with this. So we need the source container, which comes from the subject buffer. Failing on stream right now. If anybody knows how to do this, now's the time to speak up. I never know how to abstract between our types in Roslyn and the types in Visual Studio, which are the actual editor types. So the source container comes from a subject buffer, which is just a text buffer. Okay, that's what I was missing. Source container is an extension method we have. As text container? Not source container? Okay. As an extension method we have. We want to use this, probably. We don't want to use external access anything. We're privileged here. Can this be null? Yeah, we don't want to do anything that's null. And then if it's not null, we want to get the workspace, which was blah, 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 blah. Not there, it was abstract imports. So we want to get the workspace in the document and do the same thing as I've done before, which I copied from somewhere else before. And how do we not question DS sometimes? Okay, so this all has to be synchronous. So we want to export a service that's going to do this. So make interpolated service. What? Get language services? I didn't know that was a extension method, to be completely honest. It is. The more you know. And then we're gonna create an I make interpolated string. We are paving all new paths today on stream. Who decided I should do this? I decided I should do this. So I do know this needs to be an iLanguage service. Perfect. And then if this is null, so this is not exported for the language, which it won't be for every language. We want to return. We don't want to do anything. Otherwise, we want to call make interpolated string. We'll call it try. I don't know what we should do in failure cases. I have not thought this UI or user experience all the way through yet. How do we get the node? Should we do this on a node? What did I do in imports? Imports I'm pretty sure was on a node. Text span, it was on text span. And text span comes from the snapshot that we created based on whatever. But the snapshot could be, let's not undo things. Snapshot really could just be the selection, right? Do you prefer is null to equals equals? I do, Steve. And honestly, it's a minor thing. I would never fault anybody for using equals equals. I still process code as a human, and is null is just, it's grammatically correct, and most of the time it's not always correct, because there's sometimes where you have plural where like an array is null. But for the most part, it's grammatically correct and it just makes sense in my head, and so I type it naturally, and I've gotten very used to it. Oh, okay. So selection has multiple spans because you can have multiple cursors. So I just need to know where the caret is. That's fine. That's fine. There we go. That's what I need. And then documents. We want the document and the position in the document that we're worried about. We'll worry about selection later, and if this makes sense. Oh, actually, let's do this. Let's do this async. Thanks for stopping by, Mr. Magoo, Blazer Mr. Magoo. Appreciate it. Feel free to stop by again. Definitely loved having you here. It's fun to hang out. So this is definitely going to be async. So we need to wait on this. get results, can call on background thread. I don't know if that's actually available in this case. Switch to task. And document, right? Because we're gonna just return a modified document. That makes a lot of sense for this. Thought we had these helpers. I really did. Because we do have them. Wait, I need to get results. This is the helper. This is the helper I wanted. Is that not accessible at this layer because I don't understand our layering? Could be. Alright, fine. We'll do what I did in import space, and we will do a threading context. Nailed it. So, I did a little bit of magic there. I'm going to try to explain it a bit. So, the main thing is we are in a synchronous context because we're doing based on a key handler, right? And so we don't want to do too many expensive things because this is literally on key press. So the first thing is, are all the key presses we care about correct? Very important. And then the second one is, how do we run everything synchronously? And I do know that modifying a document to insert an interpolated string where the current string is available is basically going to be an asynchronous like, as far as we're concerned, it's asynchronous, right? And whether or not this command handler needs to be synchronous is not important for that. So what we did is we added this threading context, and VS export these iThreading contexts. Then we use joinable task factory.run, and what this does is it will run and block the UI thread, which is important because sometimes you don't need to do that and sometimes you do. And so we block the UI thread and we wait for this asynchronous action to finish. So we're gonna do that. Sweet. This is basically our command handler. The next bit is going to be the actually providing an implementation for this. So we've provided this in here, but we actually probably don't want to. This is not where our language actually should be provided. We're going to want to put this in editor features probably. Do we already have a interpolated string anything? Nope. So let's do interpolated string here. We're just gonna move this to this. Because as much as I don't understand our layering, I know you should move things as low as possible. And we just need to add an implementation for this. So, the real question is, does this need to be specific to a language or not? Let's can we do this in an abstract way? It doesn't make sense to, right? We need to do this in C# because Visual Basic doesn't have interpolated strings at all. As far as I know, does anybody do Visual Basic? Maybe they added those and I didn't pay attention to that. And this is gonna be make interpolated string C#. Steve. Ooh, providing the documentation. Let me open that up. What do you think? Interpolated strings do exist in Visual Basic? Oh, I love Visual Basic more and more the more I read about it. I don't even have anything wrong with Visual Basic, I just don't use it often enough. Okay. Never mind. Thank you for helping me out there. So we should be able to do this in a generic manner. We're just gonna completely delete these things and go back to our editor features and call this. I don't know if it will need an abstract or not. We're gonna assume not until proven otherwise. So we're gonna call this make interpolated. I hit a layer on my keyboard. Make interpolated string. What? How does it even have a... Oh, you know why? Because I copied and pasted this. This is the correct namespace for this thing. See this. Little move namespace trick there. You go and select the namespace and you select move contents to namespace, and you can change the namespace of all the things within this block. Very handy. Copy and paste because I misspell things all the time, like make interpolate string. We've been over this. We don't know how to spell on this string. Make interpolated string. Oh. No. I don't want to build. I got ahead of the whole thing in my commit. Make interpolated string. There we go. And then we want to make this internal. Perfect. And then implement interface. And then we want to export language service, I think is what it's called. Yeah. We'll copy this again. This is just exporting the service so we know it's per language. But we can do this. Wait, there is no lang. I think this has to be shared as well. Could be shared. We don't need multiple implementations of this. I don't remember if you actually need that. No, I don't want to change to export. Oh, it needs a language. We'll do this for Visual Basic as well. I don't remember if it needs shared or not. We're going to take that away. I'm going to assume analyzers will tell us if it does. Yep, it needs to be shared. Oh, actually, does this take multiple language names? Does anybody remember what the export language service actually does? Does it take multiple language names? I thought it only took one. Yeah, it only takes one. I think we just do... There's got to be a way to do multiple. Is it not export language service? Look at this. No, these are all one language. Look at language names dot basic. Let's look at who references this because it's going to be hopefully a lot fewer than C#, but we want to find an export that actually does both. And I don't remember how to do that. And this is how I find how to do that. So we have diagnostic analyzer that takes both, but do we not have a language service that takes both? Code fix provider takes both. We may have to just do 2 subclasses, which kind of sucks. I don't immediately see a way to do this with multiple subclasses for our language provider. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense because you're providing a per language thing. So what we're gonna do interpolated string C#. And this is going to be an export language provider or language service, and language names is type of perfect. So we need, and we want the same thing for Visual Studio, or Visual Basic, not Visual Studio. Perfect. We'll just fix up all this so it has the absolute obsolete attribute. And yeah, those are going to complain that it's not shared. And then there we go. And then this is going to be changed to abstract. It's going to be an abstract class. And for good measure, we'll make these sealed. Sealed. Oh. I want to move this to its own file because I don't want them in here. Move this to its own file because I don't want shit here. There we go. Thank you, Visual Studio. Okay. Now we just need to actually implement this. That's the easy part, right? So expand. It's gonna be an async. Oh, this needs to take in a cancellation token. Always need a cancellation token if you're doing anything async. What? Sure, okay. And then we want to get the document dot required async. And that's an extension method, so let's give it a second to figure out what we're doing there. The get required, if you're not familiar, so we added nullable analysis in C#, and we went back and looked at a lot of our like null things. So I could just call like syntax root, get required syntax root. So I could just call get syntax root async. That returns a nullable thing. So the get required is just a wrapper around that, which throws if it's not there, which is what we want because we need it to be there. It's very exceptional if there's no root in the document. And then we want to find the node based on the position, so root.find node. Wait, is it document.find node? I didn't think it was. Oh. Duh. Forgot I'm gonna wait here. Then we want to do a new text span of position 0. And if it's null, we just want to return the current document, because it'll be smart enough to know that that doesn't have any changes. Alright, so now we need to do, there's a typo in there. Look, interpolated is apparently very hard for me to spell. I don't know why it's very hard for me to spell, but it is. Interpolated. I also think some of it is I just get ahead of the typing sometimes. Thanks for that. We appreciate it. Alright, so we need to find out if this node is a string, because we only want to do strings, right? Right? No, we only want to do strings. So we do need to know if it's a string, but we don't need to know if it's a string type. Is there a way to determine if it's a string literal without getting the semantic model is the question. Because we can get the semantic model, but that tends to be more expensive, and I think we can do this fully syntactically. So let's get the syntax facts, because that gives us a little bit of leeway into what we can do, because there's a lot of implemented stuff already there. Syntax fact service. Perfect. I don't know if syntax facts has a string. So we want to know if this is a... We don't care if it's an interpolated string anything. We want to know if it's a string literal. So we want to change this to token. We're going to change this to token. And then that means that token... equals default. Can you do is default? I don't think you can. That is one downside to the is null versus equals default problem. So this takes a position, which is great because we're provided a position. We just want to know. We want to know if you're in string. So we want to know if you're in a string literal with this token. And we'll return document if it's not. If you're not in a, if you are in string literal, we want to know if you're already in an interpolated string, which we have some methods for that already. Actually, it's interpolated string. What does this do? Let's look at this for a second. You can use is if you use more annoying default syntax. Oh, do you mean like if I did is default and then token, because this is a syntax token? Like that? Is that what you're saying? Default, I never use this syntax, I'm not. Hang on, constant value is expected. Default. I thought this worked as well, to be completely honest, because that should be a constant, but I guess it's weird that's not. Anyways, there might be a case where default works like that, but I'm not sure. Because I would have thought default syntax token would have been a constant. Actually, no, default is never a constant. For, well, it works for default object. I'm really we're just gonna try this. We're gonna try this. O is default O. Object. It's just a warning. I guess because default of a nullable type, of a reference type, is always null. which is in itself a constant, but default of, so the reason we can't use is whatever is it's a struct, right? So a token is a struct, and I think because it's a struct, default of a struct is not a constant. Yeah, it's a struct. All right, we're gonna go look at implementations of this because I need to know what it counts as interpolated string and if there's a better way to do this. So token is kind, string literal token, or interpolated string. So string literal token, this is what I wanted to know. If string literal doesn't include interpolated strings, is string literal does not include interpolated strings. That's the important part. That's what I need to know. So we're gonna know it's not an interpolated string here. We'll add a comment because future us will appreciate that. String literal does not include interpolated strings. Position already in an interpolated string. Early. There we go. Okay. We're in a string, and we need to make it an interpolated string. But we want to keep literally the same thing. So syntax facts dot. It's gonna be get. Oh no. Do constant interpolated strings count as literals? Constant interpolated, you mean like that? They might. That's actually a good question. So let's look at Sharp Lab for a second, because that's a really good question actually. So if I do var I equals const string equals that, and we want to look at the syntax tree here. What is it telling us this is? So is it still an interpolated string expression? I think syntactically it's still an interpolated string expression. And this supports that, yeah. This is a good question though. We'll add tests to verify that when I get around to adding tests. Writing whole new code on stream without even thinking about it. Maybe not the best idea I've ever had, but I was ambitious after we finished our first bug. We're for it. What were we doing? We were going to do, if this is, so we're assuming it just needs to be converted to an interpolated string right now. So we need a syntax generator. I thought there was a get syntax generator, get generator. Maybe it's syntax generator. Yeah, we need to add it using that get generator from document. That's what we need. Gen or rates or, man, I'm making all kinds of typos today. And then we want an interpolated string. I think we just want the text token, right? You like the typo better than the real name? the generator, I don't even remember what it was, but oh no. Okay, so we want interpolated string. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. This. So I think interpolated string text is what we want, but I wonder if it's going to escape stuff for us, which it might. That's my worry. No, I don't want to make this static. We just gotta go fix this. Take a cancellation token. Oh, come on. Come on, Visual Studio. You know this needs to be system.threading.task cancellation token. So, oh wait, it's already using system threading tasks. Is it just system.threading for cancellation token? I can never remember. Yeah, it's just system.threading. So we need to replace this node with replacement. It's gonna create a node. And then we want to make sure the parent's not null, and then this is replacement. So this is token. It can't be that easy though, right? I mean, we gotta write tests for this. I haven't even thought about where to even put these tests or what I'm doing with these tests. This is just it. This is it. It's a very small code fix. Can't be right. There's no way that's right. Too small. Too easy. That's some tests for it. Oh, Steve, you're just joining us. So let's just do a quick analysis of this. I think it was this issue back here. Blah, blah, blah. We had it at some point, I'm sure. Here we go. So there are cases where you have, for example, a string and you already type in things that you would expect it to be interpolated. So we have a convert to interpolated string which already escapes things. What we want to do is provide a command, and in this case control curly brace, opening curly brace. I think I actually did this closed curly brace. I need to test this. To convert this to an interpolated string if it's not already. But it needs to not escape existing curly braces. And so we are just adding that. So we're assuming that the text in there is the correct text. The problem I have is if we convert with just interpolated string text, does it automatically escape curly braces in that sense? I'm not 100% sure, which is why we're going to write some tests for it. We may need to break this up by curly brace and then do interpolated string text, interpolated string expression, interpolated string text, blah, 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 back and forth until we nail it. It might be a little bit easier to see this in tests as well, as soon as I figure out where these tests go. Editor features 2 tests. I never know what the difference between editor features test and editor features 2 test is, so we're just gonna put it in editor features 1. It's a big list of stuff, but that's okay. We already have interpolated strings. We do not. Sweet. Get better with typing interpolated every time I do it. We're gonna start with some C# tests here. So we need an export provider question mark. Is that what that is? No, it's these don't even use it. Why am I looking at these? Use export provider, that's what I want. So use export provider just lets us know that we want to use meth exports within this test. Make this public. And what we're gonna do actually is, because this is just a language service, it's not a code fix or anything else, which is what most of our test stuff is around. So we are just going to do private static task test async string code string fix code. We're going to set up some test related stuff here. So we have a test workspace that we're going to create for this. We're going to do test async C#, because we're going to create a C# and code. We want to do workspace dot document dot first document selected span or cursor position. We only care about cursor position right now. So this is a test host document, services, So this is just getting a normal document instead of a test workspace document. So we have a test host document which has a bunch of stuff on it, but we want to get the language service. So we're looking for the interpolated string service. Okay, we have a get required document here. This will be get required language service, and this will be I make interpolated string service. I make interpolated string service. I think I just called it I make interpolated string. I probably should have called that I interpolated make string service. That's okay. We'll fix that in a second. That's what rename's for. And then we want this to be async. Sync. Dot value, and then cancellation token dot none. And then we want a assert dot equal. Okay. Oh, we need to await this. Some dummy. And then we get syntax. I forget. We do a toString document. I don't remember if that's correct or not. Let's try it out. Let's write a test for this. Okay, so we want the case. This is going to be the most simple case that we can think of. Oh no. I did a bad thing. Oh shit. Oh, I did that. In this, and then we want the fix to be this. First test. Is any of this code shared with VS for Mac? Yes. So anything in the editor features layer will be. If we look at the get changes here, so it'll be a little easier to explain it. We have editor features here, and we have core.wpf. Anything in core.wpf is not going to be shared with VS for Mac, but anything in core will be. And so the main thing here is the WPF layer requires on WPF or other things. I'm not sure. Oh, I forgot a thing. So one thing we could do is potentially add this for VS for Mac by just moving the layers around. I don't have a Mac to test with, so it makes it kind of difficult to test some things. But it's very possible. We need to pass. I added the context. Yes, the short story is we do our best to share as much as possible, but the like key binding, for example, won't be shared with VS Mac because potentially they want a different key binding. Maybe the key binding logic doesn't set up correctly, etc., etc. Oh, cancellation token, which we have from our I'm just gonna pass and run right now. This does need to be something, and I know it does. But I want this to compile and run right now, and I'm okay with committing a few crimes for that. Steve, have you done much Roslyn coding, by the way? I don't think I've seen you on the stream, so you know we can hang out and while I'm compiling and figuring out my test code. You're also allowed to remain anonymous if you want to. Do whatever you want. Oh yeah? Do you do .network in general? I'm actually just like curious how you made your way here. Oh, nice. Well, happy to have you here. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to drop them. Friendly group here. We'll say maybe I don't even code better off of stream, but I definitely feel like I realize my mistakes a lot more when I'm on stream, which is amazing. So this token here, argument exception token. Why is this not okay? Look at this. Yeah, definitely feel free to ask any questions if you have them. I know not everybody even knows what Roslyn is, so I should probably explain that more in my titles, but I'm just a new streamer, still figuring this all out. I've only done a few streams so far, but happy to have you hanging out with me. Okay, so this is a string literal token, which makes sense. So this just looks like an implementation detail that I didn't know about. It literally requires an interpolated string text token. Okay. We'll do this. I don't even know this stuff anymore. Replace token. That's what I wanted. Content value. Hang on. What does content and value mean? I, I, I think it's string.empty for value. I don't know what value means here. So you've been using C# off and on since it was beta. How do you like the... Because we've made a lot of strides since beta, right? Like, even since C# 6. So I actually joined the compiler team around when they were shipping C# 8, so I haven't been here that long. And I've even seen a lot of changes that I can't keep up with since C# 8. Argument exception again for token. Hang on. Yeah, no generics or lambdas back then. Things are much better. I can imagine. Without generics and lambdas, that's like 50% of the code I write, at least. Look at what this is generating. Slowing down a little bit, we're getting in the drudge of like area I don't understand that well, and I'm kind of just guessing at this point. So bear with me on that. So what does this do? What does this do? This does a token. I mean, this all has to be true so far. So we're replacing with this new token. What is this new token? Oh no. It doesn't have the quotes. That's why. Because we're not making a string, we're making string text. Man, interpolated strings always get me with how bizarre they are. Like, when would you ever not pass syntax generator create interpolated string is verbatim true? I don't even know what is verbatim means in this case. Verbatim from what? And then it takes in content, which is going to be interpolated string text. Has the, I suppose, maybe. Oh, yeah, verbatim strings. Thank you for that. So actually, we want it as verbatim literal. Forgot, that's what the @ symbol is called, is a verbatim string. Interpolated string text. So every language calls their version of verbatim string something different. They do. And I literally work with the compiler team, and I still don't remember that. So hopefully nobody ever feels bad about forgetting that, because if they do, then I should feel bad, and that we're not on the stream for the feeling bad. Can you just convert a token into a node? That would be great. So the end token won't need a verbatim. That makes more sense now. And then you can't turn this into a node, so you need syntax generator dot interpolated string text from the token. And then we need the interpolated string to replace the parent of this token. It's going to be replaced node now. We're working with the node, not just a token. And we'll go back to token that parent is null up here. And then we're good. Then we're good. I think the order of the ampersand and was important before. Was it C#9? Yeah, so C#9 actually allowed you to swap the order of them, which is good because I inevitably got it wrong every time. It's like, I don't know if you have the USB principle of it takes 3 times to plug into a USB, but it took me 3 times to type in a verbatim interpolated string in C#. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're onto something here. So this toString is wrong. Text async. That's what we need. We need to get text async call. Document. This is just test problems now. I think it might be a fundamental law of nature that it's important to remember to type the verse when making an interpolated string. Yeah, actually, so the funny thing about this is I wasn't planning on doing this on stream at all. I'd already picked out a bug, and we were just gonna go pick out some more help wanted bugs, and then we got some good feedback from viewers that this would be a cool feature, and there was already an issue around it, and we apparently already designed around this. I missed that design review. It happens. And we decided that that's the answer. And so as a community member, like even not knowing the context of the design and everything, I was able to go in, and I wasn't part of that meeting, and still implement this feature, which is kind of like the hope for the stream, right? Is there's no, like there definitely is insider knowledge but we do our best to make it not insider knowledge, right? Like, we want people to be able to succeed. If we did an await here, life would be better. But yeah, somebody on stream was just like, hey, this feature should exist and there's an issue for it. And I was like, okay, well, if I finish the bug I'm already planning on fixing on stream, let's do it. And here we are. I'm actually over stream time of what I expected to stream, but I'm really into like at least getting a few tests written for this and making sure it works. I don't know if we'll go comprehensive tests for this because you know, I'm running on fumes now. But it has been a good time, and I'm glad you're excited for this feature. Nailed it. Perfect. Exactly. First try. First try. Nobody can tell me different. So yeah. Now this feature, we still have a lot of tests to do for verbatim strings and stuff. I'm not going to go over that now because basically the rest of this feature is going to be adding tests. What I will do, and I'll promise to do this, is if I start adding tests and I hit a failure, we'll revisit this next stream and talk about what tests are failing. I don't think it's particularly, I mean, maybe it's interesting to write on stream, but tests on stream, but at the same time, I am getting tired, and I know that. I've had a long work day and then 3.5 hours of streaming. It's a lot. So I'm gonna stop here with this test passing. We're on a good note. We have a feature that is almost done, with more tests and a little bit like manual testing to make sure it doesn't feel weird. I think this is a good feature. So we'll finish this up, put a pull request out, and like I said, if we hit any problems, we'll follow up on next stream. But let's assume everything works. Oh man. Okay, Steve, do you play Final Fantasy 14? Because the waving arm like that, I had never played Final Fantasy 14 before, and I started playing Final Fantasy 14, and it's everywhere in that game, and it threw me off. Oh man, they use the same emoji though. That was what I was getting at. Is they use the same emoji, and they use the waving arm, and I had not done MMOs where that was a thing, and it was very jarring to me. And I was like, oh, did I just call someone out on stream for playing Final Fantasy? Because it's amazing. Final Fantasy 14, good game. Probably what I'm gonna do after stream today. But thanks for joining me. This was a good stream. We got a bug fixed. We have a pull request up for that. I'll show that real quick, see if it's just a stream recap, if you will, to make us feel better. Oh, well, these are failing. Ah, David, you were on stream. You were on stream. You could have told me these things on stream. Let's see. So what? Either way, something's failing here. But this was the first bug we visited. What's failing here? Possible null reference. Oh, okay. So just potential null references that we need to fix. But that's good. So we had a first bug that we fixed on stream. Fantastic. That was 55053, which is in the current issue tab right now. And then, just as a recap here, where did I click it? It's somewhere. There was an issue about this one. Here it is. No, this is not it. This is just the other issue. There was an issue about the feature I'm implementing, I promise, and not making stuff up. It's going to be a feature. It'll be cool. Hopefully, it probably won't make the initial release of Visual Studio 2022, because we're feature complete, more or less, at this point. But the next release, maybe you'll see this feature in, so try it out. It was a fun stream. Thanks, everybody, for joining. And until next time, I will be on social media and stuff at Risengard if you need me. We also have C# Discord if you've never checked it out. I'm somewhat on there, but also we have a lot of really good people on there. So check it out. And I will catch everybody next time.